Okay, here we are. I got the high point taken apart now, and like in all the other videos showing on how to do it, um, it's real simple. It's a little more intensive than doing a 1911, but the roll pin, eighth inch punch, leaving the slide in the lock back position, the hole here where the pin was from, and there's a slide mount that is right behind the firing pin that holds the slide in place. Um, the return spring and follower. Now, what I did find, this is after 100 rounds, first firing the gun with 100 rounds, and I don't know if you can see in this picture the wear marks inside on the slide after just a few rounds. I can see that being a part that's going to break in after it's used. I've seen other of the videos from YouTube that people have polished those up just to keep everything sliding real freely. This feed ramp right in here is made of the same material as the rest of the frame. It's not a metal feed ramp, it's a plastic feed ramp. So as far as cleaning it, it is shiny as it is right now. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit with a little uh, Hoppy's 9, and then use a little steel wool to try to polish it a little bit lightly. I don't want to put, like I said, too much effort into removing any material. I don't see a reason to do that yet. But like I said, after 100 rounds, it's relatively clean. And looking down the barrel, I don't know if you can get a good view in there, but I haven't cleaned this since I shot this. So as far as any sort of buildup of residue, it is still nice and clean. Okay, so with a Nitro 9, it's an old bottle I've had around for a long time. Some cleaning patches. Okay. Just going to do this kind of simply around a brush. Okay. A little Nitro 9. It is rather soiled. Doesn't show any real signs of anything, as far as any leaving marks from feeding. Maybe a slight nick down here from on one of the failed feeds. I'm just going to use some fine steel wool. Just a small amount of it. Said I don't want to take off any real material. You just want to kind of clean up the slide so it feeds nice and smoothly. But I don't see any burrs or anything on it that would cause an issue. I can understand on a hollow point, being that it's got a lip on it, if it were to catch just under here, if you had a nose, if it was feeding nose down in the magazine, that it could catch there and cause a problem. But as far as opening up these, I don't see a real need to yet. As far as any sort of sharpness under it, if they're talking about polishing those up, my more of a problem, it would come up and ride just fine, and it's not making contact with the front lips. But when it was heavy in the magazine, that the last 9 or 10 shot would be kind of nose down, as opposed to being sitting in there like that. It would be sitting in there like that. Now, it's a nice little pistol, but like all the comments on these, they are rather heavy. The recoil on it is not bad. It's I want to compare it to, say, a 38 special, approximately. Not much anywhere near that, really. It's real close, but it's nowhere near the kick of a 1911 with a 45. But the comments that I've heard on these guns, as far as failing to feed, as being predominantly the only real issue with it. I haven't heard. I hear people saying that they blow up. Nobody has shown one actually blow up unless it was deliberately caused to blow up by hammering a bolt in the muzzle, loading the barrel with black powder, and loading a charge behind it, and then clamping the slide and the barrel shut and firing it remotely. Yeah, it's going to blow up. You take any gun and close it up like that and fire it, something's going to give. But I've seen the tests that these guys have done, and I think it's pretty concise that it's doing a really nice job for an inexpensive piece of hardware. I'm predominantly a rifle guy, rifle and shotgun. I've got a couple other pistols, but one's a 32 Clark, which revolver that's more of a keepsake, belonged to my dad, and the cylinder won't lock in place when it's in full cock. Then I've got an old 22 revolver, and I've got a 1858 New Army 44 black powder cap and ball that I'm planning on putting a conversion cylinder on it to be capable of firing 45 long Colt in cowboy load. It won't be, regular modern ammunition, but it'll be a actual shell as opposed to black powder cap and ball. And it'll be way easier to load and way easier to clean. It'll be just a matter of the black powder that comes from the shell. As you see, I'm getting a lot of that black paint or whatever they use for coating the frame off, and it's starting to clean up a little bit. I don't think I need to go too much further, but I'm not actually removing anything. It's just polishing it, just cleaning it down to the point where the round should feed just fine. Had an old 45 Llama, 1911, and if I'd have known a little more about firearms then, I would have polished the feed ramp on it, because I know that was the problem on it, because that thing jammed on a regular basis. And like they make fun about a high point is being used for more of a throw it at your enemy type weapon as opposed to firing it at your enemy weapon. That was an anchor attached to the end of my wrist that could be used as a hammer, use a center punch driver for driving roll pins out. But it definitely wasn't a very fine gun. I had a 44 Super Blackhawk revolver, nice gun, Pacmar grips, but I was firing it so often that I went to the 44 special rounds because the Magnum rounds were getting so expensive. So I decided to go to the 44 special, and then I just lost interest in it, and I figured to get something, cheap, so I traded it for that Llama, which was the worst mistake of my life. Even though now there's a lot of people looking for those, they're actually pretty valuable. I don't believe Llama's in business anymore. I haven't seen any around anywhere. And as far as a quality gun, it really wasn't. Not compared to a Colt or a Kimber or a Beretta. It's starting to clean up nice in there. I think that's going to do the trick on here. But I know on those 1911s they are real easy to take apart, field strip. This is a little more intensive. I've got an AK-47 that I can take it apart and put it back together with my eyes shut. I've got a Remington 740. I've got a Remington 7400, both of the 30-06. My deer rifles, my wife and I. The 30-30 Marlin. I don't really mind that gun, but I don't like the way it actually cocks and loads. It's a lot stiffer than my old Winchester that I had, but then I got a Moisen Nagant 7.62 54 Russian in Kevlar stock. It's still pretty much stock. There's nothing really done to it, but it's clean. It fires, but heavy to carry around. Got a couple black powder rifles. Got a CVA Optima and a CVA Wolf that my wife uses. And they're pretty nice. I like the Optima. I got a good deal on it from Cabela's. Thumb hole stock, stainless fluted barrel. The Wolf is a inexpensive Walmart brand, Walmart product, $150. But it got her into muzzleloading so she can go out hunting with me during muzzleloader season. Now, how's that look? That look nice and shiny there. We'll take this out tomorrow with my wife. We're going to go plinking and see if it feeds any better. I'll report that back to you and let you know. Thanks for watching, and rate this good if you like it. Give me comments if you'd like to, and have a nice day.